Hi everyone, it's me, Benjamin Crudwig from Benjamin Crudwig Fiber Arts and Design, and this is episode 17 of the Fibercast, which is a knitting and crochet and spinning and all-around fiber podcast. Let me start off by apologizing for being gone for almost 2 months. I have been very busy. I'm going to say a lot probably in this podcast because I'm filming because I know I need to film, and it's been very hard to get to this point. I have been working on lots of new designs, and for some reason I thought it was a brilliant idea to work on a whole bunch of sweaters and pullovers and cardigans in the middle of summer. So all of my knitting time has been devoted to design work, and I know some designers don't mind sharing work on the podcast when they're designing new stuff, but this one, these last few projects, I have wanted to kind of keep under wraps for the most part until they were done. And so I have basically 3 finished objects to show you. And one of them isn't completely finished because I need to weave in the ends and block it. But I finished it this morning, so I thought I would share it with all of you. So if you want to find me on all of the internet, you can find me as Benjamin Crudwig. Or Benjamin Crudwig Fiber Arts and Design. It kind of depends on what platform you're on. I'm on Instagram quite a bit. It's been a little bit quieter over there since I've been so hard at working and knitting, but I do post over there almost daily. So yeah, find me on Instagram. Please find me on Facebook. I'm trying to get more active on Facebook. The podcast, or at least I have a Ravelry group over on Ravelry, which is Benjamin Crudwig Fiber Arts and Design, which is very, very quiet right now. And I do have some things to talk about in a little bit. So I think the cat is trying to get in, so let me see. Yes, our new resident was definitely trying to get in. So I'll introduce you. This is Rowan. He is our newest addition to the family. So we have one cat named Bernadette. We also call her Beans. She's our gray one-eyed cat. And this is Rowan. And he is just a few months old, maybe 6 or so months old. And he is a very sleepy kitty right now. But he knew that I wasn't downstairs anymore, so he needed to come find me. Anyways, so I will talk about the Ravelry group a little bit more in just a few minutes. And welcome back to all returning viewers. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I normally record every week to every 2 weeks, but I think since it's been about a month since, so it's been about 2 months since the last podcast, and it was a month before that since the last podcast, so I'm just going to podcast when I can. I'm designing more often. I'm designing more things, so I won't have a lot of knitting to show you, and I haven't been doing a ton of spinning recently. I did participate in the first half of Tour de Fleece, and I couldn't continue. Spinning was taking up too much time, and I needed to knit. I needed to get things off the needles, on the needles, and off the needles. So I'm going to jump right in. I have one current work in progress. I have one that's in hibernation, and I have plenty of things that are needle adjacent, which I'll talk a little bit about. And so yeah, I'm going to start with my work in progress. I can't show you this work in progress. So it is in my lovely Bags by Terry bag. It's the very dapper fox fabric that I just love. And every time I bring this somewhere, people comment on how amazing this bag is. So it's in this bag, but I can show you the yarn that I'm using. This is pretty true. There's a little bit more green in here than is showing up. But this is called Cerulean Twilight. It is from MJ Yarns, who's actually a local dyer to me. Jonathan Berner is the owner, operator, dyer of MJ Yarns, and he actually lives about 5 minutes away from me. We live in the same city, so he's a local operation, and he asked if I would do a pattern for him for a very special project, and I said yes. So I am currently working on a great design, which I'm finally happy with, using this color, Cerulean Twilight. It's his alpaca base. I believe it has some silk, and I left the card way over there, and I don't really feel like getting up one more time. So it's actually going very well now, and I did rip it out about 3 or 4 times prior to finding a pattern structure that I liked. So, gosh, the amount of times that I swatched, drew out, redrew, drew again, swatched again, ripped out, redrew, swatched again, and then ripped out, redrew a completely new pattern, something that wasn't quite the same. One moment. Okay, sorry, the cat was trying to eat some fiber, so I had to get him out, and I also decided to make a little bit of tea for myself. So yes, that project, I'm very happy with how it's going now, and it's not due for another couple of months, so I'm going to move on to some other things, which I will talk about after I talk about finished objects. So, well, I guess work in progress. Sorry. So another work in progress that I do have is some fiber that I've been spinning. I have 16 ounces of this that I hand blended. This is mostly silk. It's silk, merino, tencel, and a shiny, it's called Green Flash. And I am 3/4 of the way done with spinning this fiber. So I'm spinning it on my new cherry matchless. I'm very happy. I have a Shacked Reeves and I have a sidekick, but when work announced, I work for Shacked Spindle Company, which is the company in the United States in Colorado that produces spinning wheels and weaving looms. And they're really well known for the Cricut weaving loom, the Baby Wolf weaving loom, the Ladybug spinning wheel, and the Matchless spinning wheel. They're well known for lots of things, but those are the products that are very well known. So when I found out that we were going to do a cherry run of Matchless spinning wheels, I said, why yes, I do want one. Did I need one? No, but I wanted one, so I bought one. Anyhow, so yeah, that's really the final work in progress that I have. Finished objects. The first one has been released already, and I'm very happy with this pattern. So first, I made this out of Blue Sky Alpacas Extra. This is the colorway that I can't remember the name of currently, but that's okay. It is this hat. This is called 5 Fathoms Deep. It's a cabled hat pattern, available on my Ravelry store, in my Ravelry store. So you have a nice undulating cable here, and then a chain link cable that I designed here. So it's a really nice hat. It's, oh hey, I have hat length hair. So it's a nice hat. This is pretty loose on me. Borderline slouchy. If I had done it a little bit more, like just a hint more, not cable, ribbing. This is going to be a mess. This podcast is going to be a complete mess, and I'm okay with that. Just apologies. So yeah, this hat, it's very comfortable. It took just over half a skein of the Blue Sky Alpacas Extra. So you might be able to, if you go down a needle size, it'll be a little bit closer fit. And my guess is that you'd be able to get 2 hats out of 1 skein of Blue Sky Alpacas. But yeah, so that's 5 Fathoms Deep. And that is available in the in my Ravelry store. So head on over there. It's under Benjamin Crudwig, the designer name, and enjoy. It is about, I think, an intermediate level pattern. Maria from Stitched in Sweden podcast, Maria Monska, she was talking about difficulty level on patterns and how when she's writing a pattern, what she's thinking about, what other designers do. Some people don't even put difficulty levels, and I am of both camps. I think it's up to each individual person to determine what they're comfortable with knitting. But I do believe that as a designer, I should give some people like an idea, some sort of idea of how hard is this to knit, you know? So this one is definitely intermediate because there are some special cables in here that you have to be paying attention to. So do I think a beginner could probably knit this? Yeah, if they are comfortable using 2 cable needles at a time, and if they're comfortable working in the round. So it's just something that everyone needs to decide for themselves, what they're comfortable knitting. But I also think designers, we should guide people into, like, this is what this kind of pattern is like to make. So, yes, that's 5 Fathoms Deep. Okay. I just need to collect myself. So the next finished object that I have, it's technically 2 finished objects. I'm not sure if you've seen both of them or not. So, I have made 3 sweaters since April. So it is August. That means it's been 4 months since April. And I have knit 3 sweaters, and I'm about to start another one. So, you might have seen this already, and I don't remember if you have, but you definitely saw, if you went to TNNA, or if you saw posts by me from TNNA on Instagram, you have seen this sweater. So this is the Titan cardigan, which is, I'm finally releasing the name of the pattern. So this should be due out this week. It's a really nice cardigan pattern. This one is done in cotton, white and a hand-dyed blue. And the body has this lovely garter stitch ridge motif. And the sleeves are modified moss stitch. So the pattern will be available in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And they have 2 inches of positive ease, because these are technically men's cardigans. However, these are fitted because you only have the 2 inches of positive ease. It's going to be a very close fit sweater. So if you like your sweaters a little bit bulkier or like bigger, then I would suggest knitting the size up. And I believe the stitch pattern, for the most part, is pretty easy, that if you aren't a large and maybe you're a large but you want to knit an extra large, I will be writing the pattern for an extra large probably within 4 to 5 months. I'm not sure. You could probably modify the stitch pattern numbers pretty easily. I found it pretty easy to do. So when I was grading the 3 patterns. So anyways, this pattern should be out this week. My tester is done. Her name is Talina. On Ravelry, her name is Tharn's Mum. And she has been an absolute doll. She's been going back and forth with me on the sweater, things that I need to modify a little bit, maybe explain a little bit more, and she's just been so helpful. So I finished the final cardigan. You've seen pictures of this on Instagram if you follow me. And right now, it doesn't lay right on a hanger. But this is the finished sweater. And I have to give the biggest shout out to Kathy Canuel. LCI Kathy Canuel, although she's not local to me. She is a local crafting icon down in Tempe, Arizona. Hi, Sam and Kim. And so they... anyways, so she was so kind after I messaged her and I asked her, hey, would you do some custom buttons for me? Because I have a couple of patterns that I need buttons for. And I love her work. Her work is beautiful, stunning, amazing work. You should find her. I think on Etsy she's SDG Creations. Pretty sure that's her Etsy store. She does jewelry, and she does crochet and knitting accoutrement, if you will. So just accessories for knitting and crochet and jewelry as well. So she said yes, and I told her what the idea was behind the projects. So, I cleaned my studio, and by cleaned, I mean I rearranged it completely. So things are not where I remember them being. So anyways, she said yes, and she made some buttons for me. So I will do this. So you can see these lovely owls here. Ooh, there we go. An owl here, an owl here, and then kind of a feathery motif. We decided that all owls would be a little weird on this pattern. But so the Titan cardigan, the Titan, Tyton, is the barn owl, which I was inspired by the textured wings, but you have a very plain body on a barn owl. So I decided to use that as my reference or my inspiration for this sweater. This is using Quids & Company's Owl Tweed. It's their tweed yarn, which is 50% wool and 50% alpaca. I used these two colorways. So the gray is Otis, and the blue is Jay. It's kind of a blackish bluish color. It's more of a royal blue than a navy blue. And then the gray is a gray heather. It's a gray tweed. They're both tweed yarns. So I gave her all of that information, like what yarn I was using, what colors it was, and she made these beautiful buttons to match. And she also made buttons for the tectonic cowl, which will be the knit tectonic cowl, which it will be some time before I get back to work on those. Because I'm self-publishing that with some personal stash yarn. And since I already have the crochet pattern done, I don't have this sense of urgency to get the knit one done. So I'm trying to kick my butt into gear to get that one done. So her buttons will also be on that pattern, which I'm pretty excited about. The next finished object, finished as of this morning, will be published in maybe a couple months. I need time to draw out schematics for this because it is worked in a unique way. But this is the Vespid pullover. Here we go. And I love this pattern. It was kind of something that popped into my head, and I knew immediately what I wanted to do. Drew it out and did a couple of swatching. I had to do some math because of the diagonals, and it turned out really, really well, I think. It has kind of a mock turtleneck neckline. Yeah, like almost a kimono style. And then these very striking diagonal lines. And then, how do I do this? There we go. The cuffs also have a very strong diagonal line. This was done in Schachenmeyer, Boston. So Schassenmeyer, they are I think they're a subsidiary of Coates Yarn, and they're the ones that produce Regia or Regia. So yeah, Schassenmeyer Boston, and the colors, one is gray, and one was called olive gold on the website. I'm so sorry. Gosh. So this one, I believe Farb is the color. So that one's 23, and the color lot, the lot you don't really care about. And then this color is color 92. So in each ball, it's 50 grams, or 1.75 ounces, 55 meters, or 60 yards. So there is not very much yarn in each of these. And I have about 1 million ends to weave in on that pullover before I can, whatever you call it, block it. I like to weave in my ends before I block, sometimes. Sorry, earthquake, 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 earthquake. Ah! Okay, we're back. So I will be releasing that pattern probably this winter. It's a bulky weight yarn, and it's a very heavy, bulky pullover. It's 70% acrylic, 30% wool, and it is very toasty warm. And right now it's 90 degrees outside, and it feels like it's about 80 something in my studio. I do have the air conditioning going, which is cooling it down a little bit, but it's very, very hot in here. So hence why I'm not wearing any sweater to show today. So I do have some needle adjacent projects, and I'm actually really excited because I get to start these very, very soon. Now that I'm done with that pullover and I'm in a good place with my new design for MJ Yarns, I get to start my next few designs for menswear. So I'm going to apologize now because there's a lot of rustling involved. So I am working with, but not for, Blue Sky alpacas. And this is all their extra yarn. It's called Extra. It's a bulky weight alpaca yarn. And I am so excited to get working on the next couple of designs. So this gray, the colorway is Shale, or number 3520. It's 150 grams, and you get 218 yards, or 199 meters in each skein. So the gray, or Shale, whatever, is destined to be a lovely alpaca sweater vest that I'm very excited about. And that is designed to match or mimic the 5 Fathoms Deep hat. So you'll see it's going to be a great cabled sweater vest. This pile here is the Marsh colorway. So it's kind of a yellowish green. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really the best way to call it. It's a yellowish green, and it is going to be another pullover. I believe that one's going to be a raglan style pullover. I haven't quite worked out the math in my head, or the picture. I do have all of these sketched out, but as we know, things change. So that one I'm very, very excited about. It's going to be a nice textured pullover. And yes, I'm drinking hot tea, even though it's 80-something degrees out. So again, I'm sorry that I have been MIA for so long, but between the work of knitting work at work, so at Shack Spindle Company, has been insanely busy. I am their digital media marketer, and I've also been doing some other marketing work there. And so we are doing lots of things. We just launched a personal stories contest. So if you use our equipment, please head over to the website, which is shackspindle.com, and take a look at the contest. So you could win a trip out to see us here in Boulder, Colorado. So I've been running that, and I have been making a whole bunch of new tutorial videos and doing some other things that I can't yet talk about. But it's been quite busy. So that has taken up a lot of my energy. And then on top of that, the summers are always pretty busy for me because I want to go do things. But it's also Ariana's birthday is the 1st of July. My birthday is the end of July. We had a family reunion type thing with my side of the family. And then last week, was it really already? Yeah, it was last weekend. Jeez. Okay, so last weekend was our 1 year anniversary, but it was also a small family reunion for her family. So it's just been really, really busy, and I'm usually gone on the weekends, which is when I like to record. And then this week, I hardly got any knitting done because my cousin is going to rent out our basement for his final semester of music education school. So the studio is now my studio and Ariana's studio. She will be singing up here. You'll notice that I'm in a different spot from where I normally record. I'm usually recording right in front of the window, but her piano is there now. So it'll be nice to have her in here. We won't really share the space. Like, I like to work downstairs on our main level with the couch and with the chairs. And she likes to practice alone, which I totally understand. I don't blame her. When I used to play viola, I wanted to practice alone. So, it's more of a containment facility for my supplies, and then I work elsewhere. So, yeah, it's been crazy, and I've been struggling with putting myself out here, like on the podcast, and I apologize to any of you who grew to like the regularity of my podcast. I've been watching James from Dancing Geek podcast, and he had an MIA few months, and I understand why, and I'm so glad that he's back podcasting because he's so enjoyable. But I also understand why he quit podcasting for a little while. So I'm just really glad that he has opened up about his his connection issues with people, and because I am the same way, and I understand that feeling of, hey, I know you through the podcast and we're friends through the podcast, but when really we don't know each other, or we don't, like, we're not friends in real life, but there is a connection there. So I want to try and make even more of a connection with you all. So via YouTube, via Ravelry, via Instagram. So, if you want to message me on Instagram, please do. Or Ravelry. Instagram, I don't understand the direct message thing. So maybe if I got one, I would understand it. So yeah, if you want to reach out on Ravelry, feel free. If you want to come to the group, please come by the group. I am currently hosting a knit-along, which I think will be my last knit-along for a long time. It's the childhood knit-along, and I spun some yarn for it. I was going to knit something with that yarn, but it has gone to meet a different owner. So they'll find out soon, hopefully, who they are. But that actually, it was yarn inspired by this painting by my grandfather of me when I was about 4 years old. So, yeah, so that's still happening. I extended the date to August 31st, but it doesn't seem like there's any activity, really. There's a few people who posted things, which I am ever so grateful for. So I'll be getting in contact with them in a little bit once I officially close the knit along. There is also there's a prize that I need to give away. So on my blog on benjamincrudwick.com, I did a ukulele giveaway, or a ukulele review / giveaway. The giveaway is now closed, but I need to pick a winner. So let me pull up random.org, because I do believe in doing these sorts of things randomly. So I had 13 comments on that blog post, so I'll do 1 through 13 because I did not comment on there. And the result was 2. Whoa, that's psychedelic. Well, that was pretty cool. Oh, I digress. So let me go to my website. And the second comment was by Jan. She said, I have several handling shawlettes that she would soak in this, since she now uses lavender ukulele. So Jan, I will let you know here on the podcast that you won, but I will put a link to the podcast in those comments so people can come look and make sure that they can check who won. So congratulations, Jan. And if you will contact me, I will contact ukulele, because they're going to be sending out the prize pack. I will not be shipping it myself, so you'll probably actually get it sooner than I normally get things out. Whoops. Yeah. So I touched on this very briefly, but with the childhood fiber along, that's probably going to be my last knit along that I host for a really long time. I just don't find that there's a lot of activity when I do knit alongs, and maybe that's my fault. You know, I'm not very good at spurring the activity, but I also, right now, I don't have time to move that along the way I need it to move along. So, yes, this will be the last knit along. However, I will be doing giveaways frequently, so I will probably do them via my blog and then announce the winners on the podcast. So the next review that I'm going to do, I don't know what it is yet, but I will be finding some things to review. I do have Ron Strong's new crochet book on socks that I will be reviewing soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I feel like an absolute terrible human being when I don't get things out quickly. So I will probably just take some time to knit some socks, or to crochet some socks from that book, review the book. On my first pass through the book, I love it. It's very engaging. It's very picture-oriented, which I appreciate. But it also looks really well laid out. So I'm excited to try out a couple of pairs in there that are more for my feet. A few of them are a little more feminine than I would wear. So I'm going to find a couple of pairs that are more masculine and make a couple of pairs. So I'll be reviewing that soon. And I have lots of other products that I am like ready to review. So yeah, that's all of that kind of, not mumbo jumbo, words. words. So I don't know the next time I'm going to podcast, when that will be. But I just want to make sure that the podcast is fun for you all. And I want, if you have any suggestions, just drop me a line, preferably down in the comments on the YouTube channel, just because I'll see those right away. If I go to I check my Ravelry every day, and I check the group every day, but I think YouTube, it's a little bit, I don't know, like I can post the video and then all the comments for that video are right there. So they're connected, they're linked. So if you have any suggestions of what would make the podcast more enjoyable for you, did you like when I did the spinning tutorial on drop spindle? Or blending tutorial, I guess. It wasn't really a spinning tutorial. Let me know if you liked that. And if you want other sorts of technique videos, I'm going to be setting up my studio, now that everything is kind of where I think it's going to stay forever. I'm going to get it set up so I can very quickly video a tutorial technique. So be on the lookout for all of that. I do want to say hi to Dan and Kay Jones, who just celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary, which just makes me so happy. They're from the Bakery Bears podcast. And they have been great supporters of me, and I have been watching them. I've binge watched all of their episodes, even though they're like an hour to 2 hours long. And so I've been completely caught up. So now I watch them as they come out. There were a few sleepless nights that I watched maybe 3 or 4 episodes in a row. My wife was out of town during that, so, you have to watch something. So, anyways, I love them to pieces, and I wanted Dan to know that out here in Colorado, this is the Wild West, according to a lot of people. So, I am quite happy to show you the ropes as they say. Though I've only ridden a horse twice, and the second time was not that enjoyable. So, I have some other skills that would be useful in the Wild West. So, come on out at some point, and we'll live the Wild West ways. I'm about as close to a cowboy as I am close to being a Jedi. Both very unattainable for me, even though on the inside I'm a Jedi. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Thank you for watching. I am so excited to get this up, and I'm hoping that all of the pauses that I had to take won't interrupt the editing process much. So, yeah. I hope I hope all of them saved, is what I'm saying. All of the takes that I did saved, so I can edit this. Again, find me everywhere on the interwebs, and I will see you next episode. Bye.